guys, it's Sophie. So I'm here to do another one of my Man Booker International reviews, just sort of trekking on with them really. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying them. It's a bit of a challenge sort of getting through them all, but it is fun I think to talk about, to have a little bit of a project. So the book we're going to talk about today is A Whole Life by Seethaler. So it's a really tiny little book, it's a novella really. It is just about 150 pages long, and the topic of this one is essentially a life of this guy called Andres Egger. And it's hard to sort of nail down really what this book's about, because I think it is more of a character study and it's more of an exploration of what a life looks like. So what the author's doing is to address the smaller instances in this individual's life in an aim to bring the pattern of their entire life together. So we move an individual through childhood and the experience of living in a slightly sort of abusive home. We move on to sort of first loves, tragedies. It's set in the mid-20th century, so the war also plays a part. So as I say, the whole book is really these fragments of this individual's life. I think the other thing that makes it quite different is that this individual is very static in their existence. So he's been living in the same village since he was a really young boy. And he doesn't really know the world outside, and there isn't really a world outside for him. The village is sort of everything for him. And as we go on, we see not only the individual change, but we see the way that he is interacting with the village and the location changing as well. So as is natural over a course of an individual's life, the surroundings change even if they are in a very rural way, and that's one of the nice ways in which the author plays with the idea of time passing and with the idea of our perceptions changing as time does move on. So unfortunately, whilst I really did enjoy this book and enjoyed reading it, I didn't feel as though I took an awful lot away. I think the writing's quite simple, doesn't have the sort of poetic elements that a lot of the entries do this time round. And I think whilst I really did like the idea and sort of focusing on one individual, made for a really engaging story and quite a different story. I don't feel as though it had a sort of personal impact for me, as some of the other ones have. And purely I think because it was so limited in its locational scope, I don't feel as though I learnt all that much either about the culture or the time, which is another thing I quite enjoy about reading the Man Booker Internationals. You just have an exposure to some different cultures and some different kinds of storytelling. I think it's probably the easiest to read of the Man Booker Internationals that I've read so far, which potentially again might be why I've seen it popping up in bookshops so much, just because it is a bit more accessible. I would be quite surprised if this one won, so just sort of putting that out there. Even though I do think it's clever, I do think it's good, I would just be surprised. I think that there are potentially stronger works in there with it, but this is probably the only one of all of them that I felt I'm pretty sure it isn't going to win. Which probably means it's going to, because what do I know? So I hope this has been helpful, and as always, just let me know in the comments down below if you have any thoughts on this one, if you've read this one yourself, or are planning on. I'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you soon with my next Man Booker International book review. Bye bye.